محمد وآل محمد.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Once upon a time, there was a mother, and she was supposed to give birth to a boy. Well, the people wanted a boy, but then she gave a girl birth. She named it Mary.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.
But you have kids like Hannah, the mother of Mary, had her kid Mary too. And when she had to separate herself from her kid, she was sad, really sad. You can imagine it with your kids, how much you love them. What did you do? Some so sweet stuff. Like when you play Noha, they repeated it. Not wrong. And they kissed you. And like this, the mother had it. Mary was going with her grandfather to the temple because her mother promised God with the name Mary that Mary would be the servant of God in the temple. And so it happened that Mary went with her grandfather to the temple. Actually, you know that ladies and women are not allowed to go in the temple, only men. But this time, Mary was allowed to. And Mary was a really, really, really nice little kid. She was kind with every poor person. When she saw someone who's sitting on the side and is poor, the bread what she had in her bag, she gave it to the poor person. But one time, you know that she's a good person. As she came over there, there was a place where they all do namaz, everyone. And she wanted to go in there. She wanted to know what happens in there. She did sajda before the door. And then the man, one of the bad ones, went in front of her and said, "Well, come to the temple." And then her grandfather told her, "Here's the place where they do namaz. You're not allowed to go over here." But this little girl had her to stay there where she is in the temple. Her grandfather and her cousin and a friend of the grandfather, together, those three made a room for her. where she can be alone. And like this, every time she had her to work, and every time when she went by there, she was looking at the door and wanted to go in there. But one time when she did that, she had a water can with her out of like glass. And then one of the mean ones called her name. And then she got scared, turned around, and she accidentally dropped a can. And then that man was getting really mad. He had a stick in his hand, and she hit her with that. He hit her, she with that. And there was a lady. She was a really good person. Her name was Her name was Annie. And she always, through a window, she watched Mary when she was working. And then when the grandfather came and didn't see her, then he asked the lady, did you see Mary? And she says, actually, I see her always through the window, but today I don't know why she's not coming. And then her grandfather said, I'll go and check for her. And then he went, and the half of her side was blue and purple, and her arm. She couldn't see it. That side, she was hiding by the wall, and that hand where the arm, where it's like that, she was hiding it too. And then when the grandfather came in, he could only see the nice side where she wasn't hurt. And then he came and saw her face because he was coming in front of her, and he saw the other side of the face. And then he was holding her by the arm, and then she was getting more tears. And he said, why? And then he took his hand away and pulled her sleeve up. And then he saw everything purple and blue, and her face too, everything. And he was like, who did that? Who did it to you? Who hit you? And she said, that's not important. And then her grandfather said, why is that not important? And later on, he went to the person who did it. And he was talking to him, and he said, yeah, their heart must be filled with fear. When I was small, do you remember when you were my teacher? And then he says, yes, but I didn't hit you. And then the other one said, yeah, that is right. But the other teachers, they were hitting me with sticks and like that. And he was telling really scary stories what the teachers did to him. And so on, he went back, but then Mary said, don't tell it to my mother. She will get worried. And then by her mother, what happened is that the mother is Hannah, and her sister is Elizabeth. She didn't have a kid. The mother Hannah was always like just fainting. She always fell down, well, really often, because she had to think on Mary. And then the sister said, "You have to go and visit her." But always, Hannah said no, because it will be harder for her to stay there in the temple. But one time she went, and the lady Anna, she was seeing the mother from far away, and the mother was always falling down. And then she ran to her. She was going to the mother, Hannah, and giving her the stick and helping her. And then when she goes and sees Mary, she took the mother with her. And then she saw Mary, and she called Mary. But then the mother said, no, she's not allowed to see me. It will be harder for her to stay there in the temple. And then there was like a window, no? And then she went to side so Mary doesn't see her when she comes. And then Mary was talking really sweet about her mother. She's like, Anna was asking, "How do you feel?" And she says, I'm okay here, but I miss my mother. I wish I know what she's doing now." And then the mother started crying and had her hands before her mouth, so she doesn't hear her. And so it happens really, really often. And then, when she wanted to go back home, when Mary turned back to where the mother stood up and saw her daughter from the back side. And then, when she was going home, then Anna had her to, well, her friend, the lady, had her to stay there. And because she lives in that place. And then she was going alone. But then she fell and she cast away the mother.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Then how they were thinking, how should we tell Mary that? And they were thinking and thinking. And later on, when the grandfather had her to see on Mary, and he went, then she started to cry. And then Mary said, "Why are you crying?" And he said, "I was just thinking on my own mother. I was going in the forest, and I wanted to get some, I don't know anymore what he wanted to get. He wanted to, maybe flowers or like that. And then when he came back, he saw a lot of people. They were everywhere by his house. And then when he tried to went in, his mother was laying, and she was like she was sleeping. Her eyes were closed. And this is how he lost his mother. And then Mary's like, "Do you want to tell me something?" She's like, and then he's like, "Yes, I want to." And she says, "Is it happened to my mother too?" He says, "Yes."
Allahumma salli ala.
For her mother, when she was still alive. Like, everyone has kids over here, and someone are also aunties, and they can think about from their sister, the kids, how it's gonna feel when they don't have their own kids. And their fathers over here, they have little babies, little daughters, little can imagine how Hannah was feeling. When I saw that movie, I cried a lot. Really much. When I saw the mother, how she went from a child. It was so really sad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.